Welcome, friends and family. So excited to be here with you today in our Elevate recording studio. And just want to continue to remind everybody, Elevate Real Estate is a coaching and mentorship program with an emphasis on leadership. That's really the heart of Elevate. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to coach, mentor, and put an emphasis on leadership. We don't want you to be great in just one area. We want you to be great in all areas. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is inevitable. Like, you're not going to ever be able to avoid this, probably not even after you pass away. And that's change. Change is inevitable. It's something that never changes. And also, I want to talk to you a little bit about the word about being prepared. See, I think one thing that will never change is change. You can count on that. But one thing that we can do to get better is be prepared. See, I think people kind of have this thought process that as they grow, as they get older, they just naturally grow. They just naturally develop. But that's not the truth. We actually have to be intentional in growing and developing. That doesn't happen naturally. That's why when you're sitting in school, every day they're taking you through a curriculum. They're starting here and trying to get you to there. Try to get you a little smarter every year so you can graduate and go to the next level. And unfortunately, a lot of times at a certain point, we just kind of tap out. We get comfortable and we quit growing spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. We just kind of think it's going to happen by nature, but it doesn't. But one thing that does happen by nature is change. You know, we've experienced a lot of change here, right here within our Elevate community. I was thinking back in the month of January, we onboarded 3 new members, 3 great team members in different seats, one in operations, a couple in sales. And I got thinking, in February, we already have committed to bringing on 3 new team members. 2, 3 are really going through getting their licenses right now. And so they're going to come in different spots. One going to help in an ISA position and assist my wife in some coaching and training with the team. Another 2 more are going to help in some sales positions. So guys, one thing that's inevitable is change, but one thing that we can do is be prepared. I just want to take a moment to really just say how grateful I am for Lindsay. She does such a great job of preparing. She is so focused. She gets into the details. I'm the kind of person that a lot of times I just think, just kind of be relaxed, let things just happen. And unfortunately, in my nearly 50 years, what I have learned is that things don't just naturally tend to go in the right direction. You got to have some guidelines. You got to have some boundaries. One of the mistakes that I made early on when I would bring in new team members is I wasn't very clear on the expectations. And so my wife, Lindsay, she has done an amazing job. She really lays out the expectations, where you're starting to where we want you to be in the next 30 days, 60, 90 days. And what we want you to be able to accomplish by the end of the year. What we know is that what most people do in their first year, it's so hard because you're learning everything for the first time. You're hearing words for the first time. And that first year, it's a super hard climb. But what we've also realized is that generally their second year and their third year, if there doesn't become a big ego, they can do really, really well. Like they've heard the words over and over. They've wrote several contracts, whatever position they're in. They've looked over several contracts. They've talked to several clients. So it just gets so much easier. And so by the second and third year, it's almost like riding a bike. But that first year, you're falling down, getting up. There's just a lot of bumps and bruises that you take along the way. But you can take a lot of that out of it if you get prepared. And so that's what Lindsay's done. She'll sit down and write down a game plan for our new ISA coming in. She'll have his first 30, 60, 90 days laid out. When Faith joined in the transaction coordinator position, she had Renee right there next to her to mentor her every step of the way. So if there's a question, she can just say, hey, Renee, how do you do this? Or if Renee hears her on a phone call, she can, after the phone call, politely say, this is probably the best way of saying that. So being prepared, being in a good environment, so important. I don't know, how about you? Have you experienced change lately? Are you experiencing change? Maybe it's in your career, maybe it's in relationships, maybe it's in your family. I've got a great friend of mine, a tremendous team member. I love Trace Lamb. Trace is such a good man. And just recently, Trace had a little baby Clara. She may be 4 or 5 weeks old now. But with that, I just remember Trace before the baby comes. And a lot of times too, I think this speaks of being prepared. A lot of times we have time to get prepared. Like we know certain things are coming, so we get time to be prepared. And I just remember Trace, talking about all the things they were doing to get the baby's room ready, to get painted, to get all those things that were going into it. And I remember there at the last minute, he's like, I still got to get this, and this done. And so he was working on the garage, just certain things. And then life just throws up things. They had some issues in a basement they had to turn around and get fixed. That cost more money and more time than they had anticipated. But thankfully, Trace and Becca have a beautiful family, and they were able to be prepared for their baby. And so it's so important, guys. Again, what is without a doubt always going to happen? Change. Change is always going to happen. But it's up to us to decide how well prepared we're going to be. I think about the Bible, and I think about one of the best all-time leaders. I was reading in the Bible today. That's one of the things I try to do to stay prepared, is read the word regular. And I'm reading through the John Maxwell Leadership Bible. And so today I'm reading about Moses, one of the best leaders of all time. And I'm talking about a time of change that's fixing to happen, not just for Moses, but more importantly for this young new leader coming up, Joshua. See, Joshua got his whole book. He got a whole book in the Bible, Joshua. But what we all know about Joshua is that he was mentored and trained by Moses at a very young age. And so he walked beside Moses. He seen how Moses led. He was being groomed for that position. But even as strong of faith Joshua was, I'll just read it to you because I don't want to misquote this. But if you look in Joshua chapter 1, verse 7, he says, be strong and very courageous. Be careful. So this is like be prepared, right? Get ready, get prepared, be careful to obey the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful for wherever you go. Keep the book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. See, a good football player, they're going to want to know the playbook, right? They're not going to just go out there and just run left, go right. They got big people out there trying to tackle them, trying to rip their head off. I mean, you got to know the playbook. You got to be prepared for when change in life throws stuff at you. So he said, keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. And then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Guys, could you imagine being Joshua? Could you imagine having to fill in the shoes of Moses, who led these Israelites, helped get them prepared? And not only now is Moses about to pass the mantle to Joshua, Joshua is now going to lead them into a place they'd never been, called the Promised Land. Do you believe you have a Promised Land? I believe you have a Promised Land. And the thing about that Promised Land is it's your inheritance. It's yours, but you got to walk into it. And in able to walk into that, you got to get prepared. You got to have some leadership in your life. You got to have some coaching, some mentor. You got to know the playbook. And once you get there and you get locked in, man, you're going to go ahead and take your inheritance. Wouldn't it be a better world? I believe it would be a better world if we all took a little more time, not to freak out when change comes. Woe is me. Oh, this is horrible. I can't believe things are changing again. We all probably have done that at times. I know I have. I know that sometimes my natural reaction is to get almost angry when change comes. Like, ugh, I'm not having this. But the truth is, guys, change is coming. And the thing that we can do to be intentional in getting prepared spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, relationally. Hey, the people you have around you, helping coach, mentor you, those are important during those times. So having the right environment, the right culture, All that is so important. And I just want to encourage you today not to fight, not to get frustrated when change comes, not to freak out, not to stall, but to get prepared. And guys, we never lose when we learn. I hope this has added some value to you. If it has, please like and share. Thank you very much.